YouTube, what's up? I missed y'all. Listen, we about to tap in on this Joe Rogan podcast and do a reaction. He talking about the pyramids and how they was built. I find this stuff interesting. I ain't the biggest buff, but I do tap in here and there and like to go over the facts. So let's look at it.
Probably whatever the Egyptians were doing, I think they were the most advanced civilization that ever existed. That's what I think. This is, I mean, I'm out of line here for sure. Listen, if you're an archaeologist and you're pulling your hair out, I get it. But I don't think we could do what they did. I think if you just look at it for just the sheer dynamics, the volume of stone that they moved, the precision in
That's a
which
lot
they
of rap.
built it, I really don't think we can do that. Just the symmetry of the faces of the statues is unparalleled, and they're immense. These are monstrously huge, perfectly symmetrical faces.
Right.
Their temples are insanely intricate with 20-ton gigantic stone blocks that were taken from a mountain 500 miles
Right.
away. And no
Dude, that be the craziest part that people go back and forth about. Like, a lot of those rocks, a lot of people say the rocks was X, Y, and Z. No, some of them rocks were like it's scientific that they were taken from hundreds of miles away. And like not even from like on the ground though. They was taken from the top of mountains on like the side of mountains. And it's like, how do you get them over there? And then I seen another joint where I think it's a rock somewhere in South America. There's a rock that that was like used for one of the temples, but it was cut perfectly as if it was like laser precision. Like it wasn't sawed or nothing like that, because you could tell if like a rock was sawed or something like that. But it was cut with perfect laser precision, as if they didn't use the other half and then they used the other half, and then the other half is actually on the mountain. I mean on the the pyramid down there, which is crazy. But like it's crazy. Some of this stuff go deep.
has any idea how the fuck they got them.
Nobody has any clue.
No guesses.
Right.
There's some guesses about, oh, maybe the river system was different back then. Whatever. How are you
Right.
getting that 50-ton chunk of granite
No
out of
way.
a fucking mountain and moving it down,
insane.
even with modern equipment? How are you getting it over the mountain?
So it seems like
You don't even have roads. What are you
they
doing?
were incredibly advanced
Incredibly advanced.
with math, with science, with technology.
Certainly with geometry. They also had an understanding of the cosmos. They definitely had an understanding of the constellations. And that's one of the reasons why
They're some of the earliest
fringe
astrology.
theory is that the Sphinx is way older than what they have it currently dated at, was like 2,500 BC, which is still crazy old, right?
Right.
But what they think is it's probably older than that, maybe even 10,000 or 30,000 years old. And that at these times in whenever the calendar is aligned properly, whatever the year is, it's like exactly where a lion would be staring the constellation Leo.
That's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
To think about that stuff.
I don't know if that's true though. That's a weird one. It's like, how do we know if like there's from the burning of the Library of Alexandria, we lost so much of an understanding of what the Egyptians knew and what they recorded. So there's a lot of weird speculation amongst Egyptologists. Like they look at
Yeah, the Library of Alexandria, if I'm not mistaken, that's where most of the Egyptian historic documents were kept, and they burned it down. So then what that led to was a lot of not like a lot of folklore and a lot of like non-understanding of what was going on back then. Y'all drop comments down below. Like I don't really know a lot about this stuff, but it's interesting.
they have hieroglyphs that show kings that go back 40,000 years.
Right.
And they look at that as myth.
But
So it gets to a certain
yeah.
time and they decide, okay,
Yeah.
now this is Tutankhamun, this is Ramses.
Are we
this
talking
is the
about
kings.
biblical times, or even we're predating
pre
that? So we're
biblical.
It'd be
really
pre-Bible.
predating the
Yeah.
biblical times.
If they're correct, if these hieroglyphs are real, instead of like saying that they're myth,
And that brings a lot of things into like question, because a lot of those hieroglyphs and a lot of the um Egyptian folklore and Egyptian facts They predate the Bible. They predate almost all religion. Almost all their hieroglyphs were more spiritual, and it didn't involve any religion. Religion came into play after all these hieroglyphs, which is always interesting.
Because they're talking
I
about
probably gotta pay
kings
more
that
attention to
ruled
this
the
stuff.
earth 40,000 years ago when we decided that those people back then were primitive. I think probably.
All right, so there you have it, y'all. What do y'all think? Like, do y'all think aliens made the pyramids? Y'all think humans made the pyramids? Y'all think gods made it? I don't know. That stuff is deep and it's interesting. But there you have it, y'all. It's What's Up, G. Back with another one. I'm out.
I try to take me back, now them labels take notice. I've been giving y'all my